What's the hot news? The hot news that everyone is talking right now all over the Philippines is the action of the Chinese Coast Guard na ni-water cannon ang ating Philippine Coast Guard convoy. Okay? So, then, let's talk about it. Okay, everyone, are you ready? Let's talk. The hot news is that there is now a brewing. May parang kumukulo na yung sitwasyon sa South China Sea. August 5, ni-water cannon ng mga inchik, yung mga singkit, ang convoy of vessels protected by the Philippine Coast Guard na magdala sana ng provisions for our soldiers na naka-standby sa West Philippine Sea, especially sa Spratly Islands. Okay? Andun sila. Andun yung ating BRP Sierra Madre. It's a big vessel na decommission. At what we did in 1999, the Philippine government grounded BRP Sierra Madre in the Scarborough, in the Ayungin Shoal, in the West Philippine Sea, so that it will serve as a detachment for the Philippine contingent watching the Philippine Sea. Anang supply, nag-blockade ang China, very active military and quasi-military operation. But to refresh us all, here is first the news. Tingnan muna natin yung balita. Okay, here is the news.
Yan sa insidente na bukod sa Chinese Coast Guard at Chinese Navy, may mga Chinese vessel na nagpapanggap lamang na nangingisda.
The Chinese militia vessels or the Chinese fishing vessels were acting in concert to corral or to blockade Ayungin Shoal to prevent our resupply mission from succeeding. So it has been exposed already.
Now, with that, it's an aggression for us. Pero haven't you wondered kung bakit ang China parang they're very confident na they can do anything they want against the Philippine government, against the Philippine Coast Guard, against the Philippine action. Why? Why is China so confident? Right after the incident in West Philippine Sea last August 5, immediately okay na rin yung Coast Guard natin. They rumbled, nag-ingay, nag-file ng diplomatic protest, nag-ingay yung mga senador natin, at everyone came up with their own statement of condemnation against China. Now the question is, ano ang posisyon ng presidente natin? Okay, pakinggan natin.
Well, the usual, ang ating Secretary Foreign Affairs ay pinuntahan si Ambassador Huang ngayong araw at nagdala ng isa pang note verbal kasama na ang mga picture, mga video kung ano mga pangyayari. At titignan natin kung ano yung kanilang magiging sagot. Ngunit sa atin ay actually today, pagkatapos ng change of command ng CGPA, ay magkakaroon kami ng command conference tungkol nga dito on how we will respond. But as you can imagine, ayokong pag-usapan ang operational aspects niyan. But we continue to assert our sovereignty. We continue to assert our territorial rights in the face of all of these challenges, and consistent with the international law and UNCLOS especially. So that is always been our stand, and but we still have to keep communicating with the Chinese government, with President Xi, with Beijing. We still have to keep communicating with them because we need to really come to a conclusion. Ang nagiging siyempre position ng China, sinasabi nila kaming may-ari nito eh. Kaya pinagtatanggol namin. Tayo naman sinasabi hindi, kami ang may-ari nito. Kaya ipinagtatanggol namin. Kaya yun ang nagiging gray area ngayon na pinag-uusapan. Kaya kailangan natin, buti na lang, wala namang nasaktan, walang injury, ngunit magkukulang ang resupply na dinala sa Sierra Madre ngayon. Kaya kailangan nating isipin what we will do next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we heard the President, ladies and gentlemen. Narinig natin yung Presidente natin. Now, why is it that the President, yung tingin ko ang Presidente natin, parang, sige lang, we will just protest against it, about it. We will just follow the normal channel of protocols. Parang wala lang, parang, winaterkanon tayo. Totoo? Is that it? Parang ganon. Parang, it looks as if nothing special or nothing big happened. While on the other side, senators, congressmen, the Philippine Coast Guard, everyone is scrambling to protest. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I saw some ingredient of courage on China. Why is it that China is so confident that they can do anything against the Philippines? After the statement of the President, after all the condemnation, pinatawag ng Department of Foreign Affairs ang Chinese ambassador, si Juan. Pinatawag siya, and here is the reply of the Chinese ambassador, ergo, reply of the Chinese government on the situation sa West Philippine Sea. Here it is.
Dr. Clarity.
Kinumpirma naman ni Chinese Ambassador Wang Xilian na nakausap niya kahapon si Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Teresa Lazaro matapos siyang ipatawag ng Department of Foreign Affairs dahil sa insidente. Pero iginiit ni Wang na nararapat lamang ang ginawa ng China Coast Guard dahil hindi nakikinig ang Pilipinas sa mga babala ng China at hindi tumitigil sa pagpapadala ng mga barko sa Renai Reef, ang tawag ng China sa Ayungin Shoal. Nagkasundo rin umano sa state visit ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. kay Chinese President Xi noong Enero na idadaan ang issue sa dialogo. Kaya dapat itigil ang umano'y unilateral o solong pagdedesisyon ng Pilipinas, pati na ang pag-iimbita sa third-party forces gaya na lang ng ibang bansa. Ang Foreign Ministry naman ng China, iginiit na ang Renai Reef o Ayungin Shoal ay pag-aari ng China base sa kanilang kasaysayan. Illegal umano ang pananatili doon ng BRP Sierra Madre na nagsisilbing military outpost ng Pilipinas mula pa noong 1999. Nangako rin umano ang Pilipinas na aalisin ito.
Okay, now, so the Chinese government is saying that may pinag-usapan. Yan. Diyan tayo. That is where we're going to talk. May pinag-usapan. Ano ang pinag-usapan ng Philippine government at ng Chinese government? Because it's very clear, ladies and gentlemen, that in this situation now in West Philippine Sea, parang it's getting clearer and clearer na that somebody high up in government promised something to the Chinese government. You see? Why is it that the Chinese government are so confident in saying na sabi nyo kunin nyo yung yung BRP Sierra Madre? So why? Why is the Chinese government so confident? And why are they doing this very flagrantly, yung openly? They can do whatever they want on us. And our leader simply, parang cold shoulder lang. Wala lang. Parang, ganun ba? Sige, let's follow the usual protocol. Binibira na tayo dun sa West Philippine Sea. Parang wala lang. Nobody raised, no one in the hierarchy of government raised a very strong statement against China. Haven't you noticed that? Wala. It's always, sige, we'll follow the protocol. Wala we'll follow the usual protocol. Maganda pa nga yung mga senador natin, yung ibang congressmen, maganda pa yung mga ramble nila But we have not heard a strongly worded statement and a statement of strong warning against China from our Philippine hierarchy. Wala. Why? Because if you take the Chinese statement, it is they tend to show that there is that quasi agreement. between the Philippine government and the Chinese government. Okay. The Department of Foreign Affairs is saying na there is no agreement. Sabi ng Department of Foreign Affairs, no documented agreement entered into by the Philippine government and the Chinese government on the conduct at West Philippine Sea. Because West Philippine Sea is ours. Yung ayungin, ang 9-dash line is ours. Wala daw, sabi ng Department of Foreign Affairs. Ito, tingnan natin. Pakinggan natin to. Department of Foreign Affairs.
There's no commitment whatsoever insofar as the Philippines is concerned, and there is no record of any such commitment. No, there is no record of a meeting or a official record that the Philippines in the past committed to China that they will tow away BRP Sierra Madre.
Oh, wala daw. Walang documented agreement. But why is it that kung wala, ito yung sinasabi ng China? What gives? Somebody is telling a lie here. Somebody is telling a lie and someone is keeping a secret on us. May nagtatago ng sikreto dito eh. Okay? Somebody is telling a lie and someone is keeping a secret on the impasse right now at the West Philippine Sea. Ano yan? Are we being sold? Is somebody trying to play... I don't know. I don't want to say this. But there seems to be a traitor within. Di ba? Tingnan mo yan. But why is it that the Chinese government will say, ano to? Amin to kasi may pinag-usapan. Anong pinag-usapan? If you will recall, 2-3 weeks ago, pumunta doon si former President Duterte. And after he went there, tinanong si Presidente BBM, sabi niya, I'm not aware of that. No? So, because he is close to the Chinese government. So, 2 weeks later or 1 week later pa, nagpunta sa Malacanang si President Duterte and briefed President Marcos. So, ano yung pinag-usapan? Last January, pumunta din yata si President Marcos sa China. Anong pinag-usapan doon? Why is it that the Chinese government are saying somebody promised them? So, sino ang nag-promise? Sino nag-promise? And what was that promise? And why is it that China is so brave, is so brazen in all their in actions against the Philippine convoy, against the Philippine military? Because you have to remember na yung ginawa ng Philippine contingent in bringing supplies to the Ayungin Shoal to supply the Philippine contingent which is on board, not on board, but on top of the grounded and decommissioned BRP Sierra Madre, is a military operation. It's a military operation. Ang role lang naman ng Coast Guard is to convoy. But it is a military operation. Now, and why is it now that it's only the Philippine Coast Guard that's talking? Ano, Philippine Coast Guard lang yung matapang dito? What happened to the military? Because it's a military operation. Anong masabi ngayon ng armed forces? Why is it that we cannot hear anything from the Chief of Staff? Wala. Our generals are silent except for the Philippine Coast Guard who has the balls to say, we protest. Because the Coast Guard, ano lang sila doon eh, security lang yung Coast Guard doon. It is first and foremost a military operation. The Coast Guard is saying it's a military operation at sila ay nag-convoy lang. Now, okay na? So kung nag-convoy lang sila, ano yung ginawa? Ano yung ginawa? It's an aggression of the Chinese government against a legitimate military operation of the Philippine government. So why is it that nobody is raising a howl in the hierarchy? Yan lang pinagtataka ko eh. Nobody is raising a howl in the Philippine hierarchy. And why is it that the Chinese government keeps on repeating and saying na merong agreement? So ano yung agreement? Is there something that the big leaders, the high ups in our Philippine governance is keeping silent and secret on us, the Filipino people? Ano yun? Ano? May tinatago ba dyan? Because I cannot see any logic or reason why parang cold shoulder yung handling natin sa West Philippine Sea. In fact, or after the August 5 water cannon incident. Water cannon actually is already force. Kasi may kinetic force na eh. May power yun eh. Di ba? Force na yun. Short of firing a gun. So ano yun? Hindi natin pwede sabihin na hindi. You should stop all these things because you are bypassing us or you're really trespassing. You see? Because right now, hindi na pwede sabihin na, sige. I'm not saying that we are going to raise a war or a howl or threaten China. I'm not saying that. No? Although in our next episode, I will come up with a documentary on what the Indonesians and the Vietnamese did. Na baka mahiya tayo na maging Pilipino tayo on what the Indonesians did. But on this specific situation, why is it that nobody is raising a howl? Yun lang, tinatanong natin. So, may sikreto ba dito? Is there an agreement, a silent agreement, unofficial it may be? Because the Department of Foreign Affairs will not admit that there is an official agreement between China. Of course, there is none. Because if there is an official agreement, it could have been through a treaty, through an agreement, which will be concurred by the Senate. So, there is none. So, kung wala, ano yun? So, it's an unofficial agreement. So, who made an unofficial agreement? Who promised something to China? And why is it that no one in our hierarchy is trying to raise a howl, a strong protest against what the Chinese did? It is clear in what we can see right now that someone is keeping a secret and somebody is telling a lie. That's all for now. Watch out for our next episode, and please don't forget, subscribe to our channel here in YouTube and follow our page in Facebook. This is your friend Eric Tenerife saying thank you so much for being with us. Let's talk. Bye-bye.